Next is, what is the difference between RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, and RAID 6? And this is just a question that we get asked a lot, so we have no problem answering it again. So when it comes to 2-bay drives, there's two main ways that you can have your RAID system. You can have it be in RAID 0 or RAID 1. Now, RAID 0 is, there is no redundancies in place. Basically, your data gets inputted into the drive, into both drives, and it's split between the two drives. And because it's split between the two drives, your read and write speed is the fastest that it can be with a 2-bay drive, but at the same time, you have no redundancy. So this is good for a lot of storage and needing fast read and write speeds, but no redundancies. Now, if you want to have total redundancies in a 2-bay drive, that's when you would look at a RAID 1 system or mirroring. So basically with a RAID 1 system, it's going to copy your data onto both disk 0 and disk 1. And so you'll have an exact duplicate of all of your data onto both drives. So if one drive fails, you have everything backed up on a second drive. Now, we're not saying that like drives, fail on a regular basis. They don't. These are extremely reliable drives, but eventually a drive may fail, and you want to have those redundancies set in place just in case a drive does fail. Now, when you're looking at going with even bigger RAID systems where you have 4 bays, 5 bays, 8 bays, that's when you want to start looking at RAID 5 and RAID 6. Now, RAID 5 is for 4 or more drives, and basically the way that it works is you have one drive that is set aside for your parity, for your redundancies. So if one of the other 3 drives fail, you still do have the ability to recover that information. And it's very, very, very unlikely that 2 or more drives would fail. So RAID 5 on a 4-bay drive system is totally fine. Now, RAID 6 is very similar to RAID 5, but it's designed for 5 or more bays in your RAID system. And basically, it's the same thing, except RAID 6 offers you 2 drives of redundancies in place. So if 2 of your drives on an 8-bay system do fail, then you have the ability to recover those drives. Now, the last thing that we wanted to go over is sticking with storage and just talking about, all right, we talk about desktop storage a lot. What about storage for on the go? And then that's where these rugged SSD drives come into play. Now, I didn't want to single out any manufacturer, and the reason for that is because every one of our manufacturers makes a rugged SSD drive, whether it's OWC or SanDisk Professional or Glyph or LaCie. All of our storage manufacturers make a portable and rugged SSD drive. Now, what is a rugged SSD? Something like this. So this is a SanDisk G40 Pro, I believe it's called. And what makes this perfect for being on the go is, as you can see, it's an extremely small form factor, but because it's an SSD, there's no moving parts, which means it's extremely reliable when there's a lot of motion. And because it's an SSD drive, it's also very, very small. You can get, for most of our manufacturers, they offer these SSD drives in either 500 gigs, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, or 4 terabytes of space. And then also, not only are they small and there's not a lot of variables for them breaking because there's no moving parts, a lot of them are either dust-proof, waterproof, shock-proof, or I should say resistant, not proof. But they're designed to be out in the field and get a little dirt on them and still work. And a lot of them are actually all of the above. Water resistant, shock resistant, and dust resistant. So whether you're looking for a portable SSD drive or you're looking for a new archival storage system in a RAID system, we can help you figure out what kind of storage you need for your situation. Definitely just give us a call, 800-323-2325, and we would be more than happy to make some recommendations.